Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about the chapter water. So in this session we are going to say about water cycle. Actually it is not the cycle, just it is a conversion of water from one form to another form by the action of nature. So what is this water cycle? How does it occur? Is all let us see in this session. We have already learned that there are three states of water which are interchangeable, isn't it? We have studied about those. There are three states of water. What are those? Solid state ice, liquid state water, and gaseous state water vapor. These three states are interchangeable from one to another. Means one state of water can be converted into another state by changing temperature. We have studied about this all in the previous session. We might get some doubts like this. Have you ever wondered where rainwater gets accumulated? Once, if it is rained once, where does that water goes? Where it is going? Where that water gets accumulated? What are clouds formed of? So these doubts you may get generally. The study of the water cycle is answer to all these kind of questions. So we'll get answers for this kind of questions. How rain is occurring, when it rains, where does this water of rain going off, where this water getting accumulated, how these clouds are formed, with which these clouds are being formed. So we can understand these all questions, we can get answers for these all questions from the concept called water cycle. So let us say about that now. The circulation of water from the earth's surface to the atmosphere and back to the earth is called the water cycle. So the water present on the Earth's surface, it converts into different forms like clouds and water vapor. From there, again, it reaches the Earth in the form of rain. It reaches the water bodies on the Earth's surface, and it continues. The cyclic process of conversion of water from one form to another form, just by the nature action of nature, is called water cycle. Actually, the driving force behind this water cycle is the heat of sun. So we told for the conversion of one form of water into another form, temperature change is needed. It means heat change should be occurred. So this is occurring naturally by the action of sun. So we can say the driving force behind the water cyclic process is the heat of the sun. So because of this heat of the sun, water from the water bodies it evaporates, converts into clouds, and again it starts raining. And the rainwater accumulates into rivers and oceans, and these all. So these all are happening because of the action of heat of sun. The sun causes evaporation from the oceans, lakes, and seas. So we know water bodies like oceans, rivers, and lakes, these all have water. So because of the heat of sun, the water from these water bodies, from the surface of these water bodies, water slowly evaporates. The water vapor also formed from the evaporation of water from leaves. We know the plants also they lose excess amount of water through their leaves. That process of leaving water from the leaves is called transpiration. From that also water vapor enters into atmosphere, and even by the respiration of animals and human beings also water vapor enters into the atmosphere. So by these all processes, evaporation of water from water bodies, by the transpiration of plants, and by the respiration by human beings and animals, from these all water vapor enters into atmospheric air. And even by the combustion of fuels also, when fuels are burned, they produce heat, carbon dioxide, and even water vapor also. So in this way, from these all procedures, water vapor enters into atmosphere. The water vapor from the atmosphere rises and comes in contact with cool air. in the upper layers. This cools the water vapor and it condenses to form tiny droplets of water. These all together they form clouds. So these are small droplets of all together they form clouds. In this way, clouds are formed from evaporated water. So where it is started? Because of the heat of the sun, water from the water bodies it starts evaporating. From the water bodies, large quantity of water comes in the form of vapor, and this water vapor also comes from plants, human beings, and even by the combustion of the fuels also. So this all water vapor comes into the higher altitudes there by touching the cooler parts of the air that condenses to form very tiny droplets of water. These all tiny droplets of water all together form clouds. So these clouds will be passing from one place to another place along with the wind. Now these clouds are moved by air currents. So gradually, the water droplets in the clouds slowly they join one another to form bigger drops which become heavy and fall as rain or hail or snow. In different forms, these droplets of water comes down to the earth's surface. Majorly they come in the form of rain. When it is suddenly cooled to very low temperatures that may form hailstones or snow also. So while these clouds are moving from one place to another place along with the wind currents, so when they touch the cooler air, immediately these droplets of water they join together to become bigger droplets, and they become heavy. The air cannot hold no more, and immediately the droplets of water comes down in the form of rain, or hail, or snow. The surface of water that falls as rain runs into streams and lakes, rivers, and then into seas and oceans. So what's happening? So by the rainfalls, the water reaches the surface of the earth. So the surface water slowly converts into small streams and reaches these lakes, rivers, and oceans and dissolve. This completes the one side water cycle. So what happened? So the water from the water bodies it starts converting into water vapor by the action of sun heat. Finally, by the rain, with the streams, this water reaches back these water bodies like lakes and rivers, oceans. So in this way, this completes water cycle. So, along with this reaching these oceans and streams, some amount of the surface water filters gradually through the soil and collects as groundwater. Okay, so in this way, water cycle will be completed and it will be continue to be done. It continuously occurs. Again, the water from the water bodies it starts converting into water vapor. Again, that water vapor forms clouds. These clouds will be condensed and starts becoming bigger droplets of water. These bigger droplets of water, they come down as precipitation or rain. This forms small streams or after reaching the soil or earth. These streams reaches the rivers and lakes and oceans. So this process will be done cyclically. This continuous process of conversion of water from one form to another form because of the action of sun heat is called water cycle. Okay, the water content of the atmosphere is maintained at a constant level. So because of this water cycle, the cyclic process, the water vapor present in the atmosphere is maintained at a constant level. Okay. Now let us see about pollution of water or water pollution. Water pollution is the contamination of water by substances that make it unfit for drinking, bathing, or for agricultural use. So, the contamination of water is called pollution of water. The main sources of water pollution are as follows here. One of them is domestic sewage, industrial sewage, and even agricultural waste. So, because of these wastages and sewages, water getting pollution. it is becoming unfit for drinking, bathing, or for agricultural use. It is not being used, it is not able to being used because of these pollutions. First, let us go through the domestic sewage. The wastewater discharged from our homes that contains dirt from washing of clothes and utensils, and even excreta flushed from the toilet and food waste washed down the drains called sewage. So, because of these all activities, water becomes polluted, and that water polluted in this way is called domestic sewage. How it is becoming here? By discharging water from the homes that containing dirt from the washing of clothes, utensils, and even for bathing. So this dirt water, if it is mixed with the streams, that water becomes sewage or polluted. Okay, it is normally disposed of into water bodies such as lakes, rivers, or the sea. So what happens? The water, the wastewater or sewage, which is drained from the homes through the small streams, it reaches these water bodies like lakes, rivers, and seas. So the domestic sewage contains harmful microorganisms also that may cause diseases such as jaundice, cholera, and even typhoid also. Okay, that it becomes polluted. Next, another kind of waste is industrial waste, which causes water pollution. The wastewater discharged from industries that causes water pollution is called industrial effluent. So, in all kinds of industries, almost they use water for their works. So, sometimes this water will be mixed with a certain harmful chemicals and wastages. So they discharge this water from the industries into water bodies so that the water become polluted. So in that way, the polluted water is called industrial effluent. Okay, it may contain poisonous chemicals often, which are dumped into rivers, make the water unfit for human consumption as well as for survival of aquatic plants and animals. So what they are doing from the industries, the wastewater, which may contain certain toxic chemicals or poisonous chemicals also. They do release this wastewater into rivers and lakes. By that, the water present in that water body like lakes and rivers becomes unfit for human consumption as well as for the survival of aquatic plants and animals. Because these aquatic plants and animals, they completely depend upon the water body. So if that water is polluted, they cannot survive further. Okay? Even hospitals are known to throw their waste containing disease causing germs and laboratory chemicals into rivers and streams. By that also the water is getting polluted. Okay. And another kind of wastage is agricultural waste which causing pollution to the water. The chemical fertilizers and pesticides used by farmers after get washed off by rain into water sources. It will be washed off into the water sources when it rains. So for killing pesticides and dissolve, often farmers they use chemicals. So when it rains, these all chemicals will be washed off by the rainwater into the water bodies. By that, those water bodies will become polluted with these chemicals. This increases the concentration of nitrates and phosphates in water, which encourages water plants such as algae to grow faster. So, these fertilizers and chemicals which are washed out from the farm fields, they may contain excess amounts of these nitrates and phosphates. This encourages the water plants such as algae to grow faster. As these grow on water, they use up completely the dissolved oxygen gas in the water, so that it becomes severe problem to the aquatic animals and plants. Because this algae completely absorbs or it will take off the oxygen gas dissolved in the water, and it is as it is covering the water bodies, no further oxygen gas dissolves into water, which creates a severe problem to the aquatic animals. Okay. So these are the different causes for the water pollution. Now, how to control this water pollution? One it is, our government has made environment protection laws. That is, according to that, all factories, hotels, municipal corporations, and other bodies that are responsible for the discharge of large amount of wastewater, they have to treat it to remove harmful constituents. So, certain industries are there which discharge large amount of wastewater into water bodies. So they have to before discharging water, they have to clean the water. They have to remove all harmful constituents present in the water before discharging that wastewater into water bodies. The factories, hotels, municipal corporations, and all other bodies which discharge large amounts of wastewater into water bodies. They all, first of all, they have to remove harmful chemicals or harmful or polluting chemicals present in this water before discharging it. So the wastewater that released into water bodies are required to meet the norms fixed by the government. As per the norms, all the harmful chemicals to be removed before discharging that water into water bodies. Okay, this we can see here one of the water treatment plant. So these factories, before releasing this wastewater into water bodies like rivers and lakes, they have to remove all harmful chemicals present in that water. So which may cause damage to the aquatic plants and animals. One more, sewage can be converted into useful products. That is, the solids removed by sedimentation can be used to generate biogas, which is a clean fuel. The residue from biogas generation makes good organic manure. So, in the what wastewater treatment, certain solid waste will be removed by the process called sedimentation. These solid wastes are used for the generation of biogas, one of the cleanest fuels. And even the residue from this biogas generation, it makes a good organic manure which can be used for the fertilization. In that way the water pollution can be rectified. The water obtained from the sewage can be used for irrigation after removing all. Okay, the wastewater, once if it is treated and once all the sewage if it is removed, then that water can be used for the agricultural and irrigation after removal of these all sewages. And one more, use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides should be minimized and replaced by more environment friendly products. By using more environment friendly products, we can reduce the water pollution, and we have to educate the farmers to avoid usage of these fertilizers and pesticides in the excess quantity so that we can reduce water pollution. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel Aims Today for latest updates on recorded videos.